Good morning to each and every one of you out there on Facebook and Zoom, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte. I am your host, Jerry. If this is your first time, we are delighted that you have chosen to join us today. With modern technology, we are extremely grateful for this opportunity to touch so many lives, especially through Zoom and Facebook. As we share those wonderful happenings at CSL Charlotte, so please feel free to visit our website, cslcharlotte.org, put in a prayer request, and subscribe. We add our recordings to our website each week. So let me tell you a little bit more about us. The Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte is a new thought community living an ancient wisdom philosophy based on the science of mind. This science of mind philosophy was developed in the early 20th century by writer and lecturer Ernest Holmes. Dr. Holmes was a man on a mission. He studied truths from all of the world's religions, religious traditions, and spiritual paths. Holmes developed a fresh new way for us to look at ourselves and how we fit into our world. At CSL Charlotte, every philosophy is honored, along with every race, sexual orientation, and physical distinctions. This is a diverse community. There are many paths to the divine. We can call it God, peace, love, spirit, infinite mind, or the I am presence. It doesn't matter what you call it. That is your power that resonates within you. You don't have to leave your philosophy or nature of knowledge. You can join us anytime. We recognize and refer to many holy scriptures, such as the Bible, Quran, and Torah, just to name a few. Our vision statement is to continue a spiritual community, creating and preparing a succession of future leaders who can fully integrate, teach, and expose the science of mind principles, messages, and practices that strengthen the mind, body, and spirit of individuals. One of our aims is to create a high collective consciousness for everyone in this community. We teach everyone the tools to do just that. So come and join us as we meet each Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So welcome everyone and enjoy our service, our celebration, as we celebrate this powerful being which lives within each and every one of us. So now I'll pass the mic back to our illustrious spiritual leader, Reverend Rosedale.
Thank you so much, Groovy. You're awesome. That is our fabulous MC out there in New Mexico. Well, thank you so much. So I can't thank you enough. So that being said, welcome to CSL Charlotte. To all of our YouTube listeners and everyone, the virtual community and everybody everywhere, welcome. So we are CSL Charlotte, the Mind Body Spirit Center, and I'm winding it up, boy. Listen to me. Today, our attention is on surrendering the need to figure it out. So, why not get started with surrendering the need to figure it out, huh, Alan? Would you say? We don't need to do that. So we start Sunday celebrations with an open and affirmative prayer. This is a great talk today, let me tell you. And we are setting the tone right now as we do this with our prayer. And who's going to lead us but none other than my spiritual sister, Dr. Reverend Wanda.
Okay, good morning, everyone. How are you this morning? I am here right now to acknowledge that this is a space as we gather together each Sunday when for all of those who arrive, who have been divinely guided to CSL Charlotte this morning, that this is a place of inclusion. And I know that each and every one of you has shown up this morning to be recharged, re-enlightened, engaged, empowered, and totally embraced. We embrace each and every one who comes here each Sunday, knowing that this is a space where we definitely belong. There's a sense of belonging, there's a sense of wonder, there's a sense of joy, there's a sense of light. And the light has guided you here this morning, and I am so grateful that everyone has arrived on time, in time this morning, on divine right timing. Everything unfolds beautifully. And this morning, as Reverend Rosedale speaks, I know that she is speaking about something so dear to my heart. And that is surrender to the need to figure it out. There is a divine source greater than any person, place, thing, organization, institution, circumstance, or condition. And with that knowledge, I know that I don't have to figure it out. I know that this source is in charge. I have a plan. I know that to have a plan is a plan to win. And I put my plan out into the universe. And as I put that plan out into the universe, I know it is captured wholly and completely. And I don't need to know how it comes about. All I need to know is put the plan into the action, and the Ways and Means Committee out there, that powerful source that is above all things, will create it in divine right timing. And that belief is deep in my heart. I know it is true. It always behaves the same way. Spirit is always conspiring in our highest good. And so right here, right now, we are tapping into that at CSL Charlotte. And I can hardly wait to hear what Reverend Rosedale has to say this morning. And I also know that I am grateful for each and every person who shows up to create this space, this safe space, this holy space each Sunday, and gives generously of their time, treasure, and their hearts. And with that, I simply say thank you, and so it is.
And so it is. I love it when you hand it over to the Ways and Means Committee, Dr. Wanda. Calm me down, baby. Surrender the need. Surrender the need to figure it out. Take a deep breath here. So next on our platform is our reader. And I call him Horace the Bush because his name is Horace Bush, but the bush we hide behind him because he is our operations coordinator. And see, Horace, he's been surrendering the need to figure it out ever since I've known him. So weekly, he makes sure, this is how I know he doesn't have to worry. He makes sure we all know where we need to be, what we need to do, and what this team is doing every single week. Even when he's not here, he's here. So after Horace's reading, I want you to listen to the song, Never Giving Up. Now, you see, you got to notice this song and Never Giving Up because it blends so well with surrendering the need to figure it out. Now, Horace is going to do that. So let's get Horace to do that. And Horace, make it do what it do.
Thank you, Reverend Rosedale. And I feel honored, actually, to be able to read this awesome reading today that I want to share with you. It's called Surrendering to Divinity in Human Experiences by our own Reverend Rosedale Jones. So take a deep breath. I really want you to absorb this as I have, but this is really awesome. In life, we inevitably encounter situations that defy our conventional problem-solving abilities. It is precisely when our intellectual skill fails us that we are reminded of a deep truth. Within us, a deeper intelligence lives. This intelligence is capable of providing the perfect solution to our puzzles. The affirmation, I may not know how, but spirit within me does, becomes a powerful incentive for change. In order to access this inborn wisdom, engaging in mindfulness spiritual practices is required. It is crucial to understand that this connection to our inner power is a deeply personal journey, not facilitated by outside forces or people. As spiritual beings living human experiences, we are gifted with remarkable intellectual abilities for logical problem solving. Our reliance on these cognitive skills has become so ingrained that our pride in our ability to figure things comes out. This pride so deeply rooted that we often find ourselves at a loss when confronted with situations that are beyond our intellectual grasp. In our search for solutions, we have overlooked the power of intuition, a force that transcends intellectual understanding. This force within us is more than capable of delivering divinely inspired resolutions. The responsibility is on us to surrender our compulsion to figure it out. When we engage our inner guidance to journey with us into uncharted realms of understanding and resolution, it shows that we are tapping into our inner wisdom. This change in approach calls for courage, confidence, and a willingness to trust in the unknown. By doing so, we become open to solutions that once seemed impossible, leading to transformative experiences that transcend the boundaries of our rational minds. So I want to leave you with this quote. Sometimes it's only when our problem-solving skills fall short that we remember there's a deeper intelligence within us holding the perfect answer. And that is from our own beloved Reverend Rosedale Jones. And so it is.
Wow. Never giving up. I saw Dr. Wanda make the comment that surrendering is not giving up. It's never giving up. That's exactly what this song is all about. So let's take a nice deep breath in and relax our eyes by looking into our laps, your lap, or closing them if you choose. And then breathe in really deeply and really long and just relax. I love that song, Never Giving Up. She sang this these words. She said something like, it's time for me to make a change and start living the life I want. Isn't that interesting? That meant that she wasn't living the life she wanted. And a lot of times we keep trying to figure things out. But one of the things she did say was, I'm never giving up. She said it so many times that I'm sure she convinced herself. So when the realization hits her that it's time to stop and change, she has no choice but to start surrendering to not figuring it out. I know that because I run across it all the time. This morning we run into it. Last week, all week, I'm running into things that I have to figure out for this major, mega move that I did. And it's okay. I don't have to know it all because when I surrender the need to figure it out, guess what happens? It's not if I'm ever going to run into that point where I'm challenged. It's a win. WHEN. That when the time comes, I'll be ready to surrender to the need to figure it out and let it go. That's what surrender is, just letting it go. So are you ready to start surrendering the need to figure it out? And that means whatever's going on in your life, because there's a lot going on in mine. I'm quite sure there's a lot going on in yours, but hey, you're a choice. And whether you choose to use spiritual practices to do this or not, it is all up to you. Now, if you already practice, why not start today? Surrendering surrendering the need to figure it out. So wiggle your fingers and your toes and integrate your mind, your body, and your spirit. And as you float your eyes open again, make sure you look around your space and find something to bring you back to the present moment. Find something new. There's a lot of new things around me, my space, but there's always something in your space that you can bring yourself back to the present with. So when you bring yourself back to this present moment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a gratitude moment, and I'm going to thank you, Groovy, for having your voice doing the MC. What a soothing voice you have. And thank you, Dr. Wanda, for praying us in so powerfully and really totally putting me at ease. And thank you, Horace, for making sure that reading was read so authentically. And I want you to hear that title. It is called Surrendering to Divinity in Human Experiences. We're having a human experience, but we're spiritual beings. So this talk gets spoken big time based on that reading. So just make sure we all surrender the need to figure it out. Now, here's what I want to tell you. No, matter of fact, let me just ask you this. What do we normally do when we come to a place where we got to figure something out and everything we do just doesn't seem to work? Sometimes these so-called problem-solving skills that we pride ourselves in, they fall short. And then one day we start going, I don't know what to do. Then we start to remember, wait a minute, in here, there's a bigger and more super intelligence. Why am I using physical intelligence for a spiritual issue or a spiritual deal? Why? That's not my job. Because I realize that my mind and everybody else's mind, I hope they know that, is constantly running 24/7. And it's so simple for me anyway to just trust. And then what Horace said in his reading, and affirm. I don't know how, but the spirit within me does. And I got to trust that. Like he said in the reading again, trust the unknown. Because that is faith when you don't see it. See, this is how I start to surrendering my need to figure it out. Just simply fall into it. Just simply allow Dr. Wanda to so eloquently say that prayer and let her fall on my spiritual ears. And those simple thoughts out of her mouth was enough for me to start listening and trusting my inner self, and telling me, you're fine. You're fine. And it's great to have such a wonderful team because I have Alan too. You're good. You're fine. Those simple thoughts bring me to surrendering the need to figure it out because his spirit picked it up. Thank you, Alan. So opening ourselves to the intelligence within is so simple. And it's just as simple as engaging into mindfulness practices. And these spiritual practices that we have, they really help us to connect deeper and even more deeper within our inner intelligence. We got a lot going on in here. We got more going on in here than we got out there, but we just have to choose to believe that. No one or no thing outside of us can establish this deep connection within us. It's within us that this perfect answer resides to whatever we got going on. And you know what? We just have to find it. But here's my question. How do you find it? Well, how about spiritual practices like journaling? No, Horace tells me a lot. I am writing in my journal at night. I think that's so nice. And he said that, and then he made me one day remember, oh, that's right, let me pick that back up again. I'm going to start journaling all my gratitude. Simple. Developing curiosity. Remember last week I mentioned what curiosity was, and what it does is it helps us to realize the fact that we are spiritual beings having human experiences. And you know what? Here's the thing, as spiritual beings, we already realize that we're aware of and that we recognize this truth, but when we forget to be spiritual beings and think that we got to be humans and figure it out, that's when we run into the ups. But we have to be understanding about this too. As humans, we are blessed with incredible spiritual tools. We are blessed with them for physical problem solving, if nothing else. Anything in the physical, we can do it, but it has to be done through the spiritual mind. Now, here's the challenge. Have you ever decided that you were overly dependent or even infatuated with your own intellect? People are so prideful in, I'm smart, right? Your own intellect is never going to be enough. But here's the deal. Because that know-it-all attitude, what you know what it does? It just throws us off balance. And then the situation gets even more challenging because we're still trying to figure it out and we're squeezing the life out of this thing that we're trying to fix. And the energy gets really garbled. I know that because it happens to me every now and then. So the truth is, like I'm going to say it again, intellect is not enough. Physical intellect is not enough. And there was too many people who have a tendency to have forgotten that all we have to do is tune in to what's in here. That deeper intelligence. It knows. And everybody's thinking, well, I don't want to hurt their feelings if I don't do it their way. Well, that's not going to help us very much because in here is an intelligence that transcends all intellectual understanding from anything, anybody, even when we're into that physical mind of ours, trying to figure it out. We are at choice to allow this beautiful, awesome, fantastic inner intelligence to provide us with the right solution every single time. But it's up to us to release the need to figure it out and open up to this inner self to figure it out. And next thing I know, I get up in the morning and I'm serious. It's just like that. Oh, do that. Look at this. It's happening. It's being fixed. Even though I may not know how, once again, I trust that this spirit within me does. And to me, at a certain time of the day or evening, it's time for me to shut all that stuff down and go recharge my battery, meaning sleep. It's all about spirit doing its thing. And here, it's never about us being unaware of what spirit's doing. It's just about me or you being in harmony with it. You don't have to say, well, it's guiding me. It's not guiding you. You're the one allowing it to guide. So stop thinking that something else has you by the hand. It's you who have you by the hand. It will always be me who has me by the hand. You can't take me by the hand and take me anywhere. I have to be, willing. See, I read all about these leading scientists lately and how they consistently seek to figure out more about this inner intelligence in us. People forget that there is something more important in ourselves. I love it, Groovy. She says she holds her hand. So many people revealed their breakthrough and they revealed the ideas. When it comes to it, these scientists, these people are fabulous. I just love reading them. They just really get me going. So here's what they were saying, many of them. They were saying that their ideas, many of their breakthroughs come in their semi-waking hours. Check it out. Read some of these things. I'll give you some more title. I give you a title every week, so it's no big deal. But see, I'm always a few steps behind them because I believe it, because it happens to me constantly. It happens to me like maybe 4 in the morning as I'm starting to get that consciousness. And I'm starting to go, wow, I'm waking it up. So here's a little teeny bit of science teaching spirituality to us, if you will, because people don't realize that science proves spirituality all the time. So the stuff you see, the propaganda, the stuff that they've written, a human, well, let's not go there, but a human wrote those things. But see what? You got that stuff inside of you that you can understand what you feel about it. But people follow somebody else's lead, and that's what the rule is. Well, you're sinning. Oh, you did. What's a sin? I missed the mark. So I got a chance to do this over. You're not going to lose anything. So when it comes to this one particular article called self-reflective practices in this article that was written by this fabulous group of peer-reviewed guys, Grant, Franklin, and Langford. They did this in 2002. And so what happened was they discussed these practices and how they lead people to greater trust. And really, these practices I'm talking about, not the people. They show the people the practices, like I show you the practices. What you do is up to you. But at the same time, what they show, I do, and it works too. Right? So these people say that with these practices, that it brings us to deeper trust. And I got that. I truly believe that. I love these scientists because they also, oh yeah, this group created this thing called the Self-Reflection Insight Scale. Wow. Did you know that? It's all spiritual, man. This research gives me even more trust in my own inner understanding, in my own knowing that science and spirituality are one. One proves the other every single time. See, I have so much faith and trust in the spirit that resides within me more than any system that man has made. Amazing. People would have said, "Oh my God, 100 years ago, how dare you can say you can't listen to us?" Oh, the powers that be would be mad. But I trust my inner being. I trust that it leads me to go to the right place. Because the minute I wake up in the morning, if I get a hinge to go do this, I know to go do it. I know do not stop until it gets done. Get up, write it down. Because I can hear between 4 o'clock in the morning until about 6 o'clock about 20 things to do. But you better believe this. Every one of those things is written in my what, when, where practice. I have a what, when, where practice I've had for many years. I keep telling people about it. The thing works because I constantly get so much done. I can't imagine all the stuff that I get done. Studying. Okay, I'm studying. I just did a major move, which is fabulous. I love it here. It's beautiful. But it's just the idea. My inner wisdom is the one that's fueling me. It is not somebody telling me, well, you need to go do this tomorrow and you need to. And my grandson Isaiah, he proves it to me too. I'm not the only one that do this work. That boy does this work. I call him my boy. But he does. 2 to 3 years ago, he came to me talking about how I can't make enough money. I don't have this. And I want to be able to do this and do that. I said, well, it's by right of consciousness, my boy. You can't get that unless you use that. You have to trust that. And I'm going to pray for you. He said, okay. And he doesn't say it to stuff me off. Today, 3 years later, well, not today, but over the last couple of weeks, I watched that boy change the old car that he was tired of. He got into 2 new positions where he can work and make this money because I told him, you have to make it yourself. And he built up his credit. He listened to someone. Well, okay, he listened to me. But that doesn't mean I was speaking to him, to his spirit. And I totally get it. He walked in that dealership on his own. Found out that he's got like a 780 credit. He was able to change that out. He has saved so much money because he understands that I have to evolve with this society. I cannot say half step. I cannot say, well, Ma, this is all I'm making. That's what he calls me. Well, Ma, this is all I'm making. That shouldn't be all you're making. I can't accept that. And at first, he probably thought I was crazy. And I even told the guy there, I said, you know what? At first, I'm glad he listened to me, because at first, I think he thought I was nuts. I said, you can do this. And at the situation he saw himself in back then to now, he said, I can do this. So now his faith has grown tremendously. So I don't need to be here to tell him anything. It's up to him. But I just want to tell you something else. This is why I love science, and I use it to explore and understand what spiritual energy really and truly is. So part of that self-reflection practice that I've read and studied a little bit says to me that there's several practices, and it's true. And you know, people call them, they may use scientific terms, but we use spiritual terms. So I turn it around. So they called it morning contemplation. I call it morning meditation. That's step one. So this is one of the things you could do. You could begin your day with a brief meditation, or how about a breathing exercise? I got so much going on when I'm teaching people about the breathing, where I would teach them in ways of diaphragmatic, because the body is aching to get rid of carbon dioxide so that the cells run around, your mind is clearer, you can do more work. Another thing, another practice, journaling. What does journaling do? Writing it down. You write your feelings, your intentions, and the things you want. You are writing, you are moving a part of your body. You got mind, body, spirit involved when you are involved. People say, well, I don't feel like, okay, then darling, don't do it. But that's not what my grandson said. He didn't say, I don't feel like doing it. He said, okay, I'm 19. I'm going to try this. He's 22 today. He's going to go on. Because now he realized if it is to be, it's up to me. That's where the mindfulness movements come in. You start to move and do. You don't just sit there and say, all right, I'm going to pray about this. No, you start to move. And you start getting to going. And now you got the visualization going on. So with that, you have to imagine yourself in the way it is, because nothing in this world is ever built without being in the mind first. Don't you ever forget that. These departments are beautiful, but you know what? Somebody had them in their mind first. It did not just come out, boom, out of the sky. And then this is another more powerful thing called affirmations. And when you utilize and use these phrases and you say them enough and you start to trust it enough, like I trust the intelligence within me. I trust the intelligence within me. I really do. Next thing you know, and you wake up in the morning, you start hearing things about what you need to be doing, and you're doing them. And all of a sudden you're saying, whoa, but you don't know, that's all from your intuition, because you have been using your fabulous, awesome, and groovy affirmations, right? So before we get to the last song, I just want to say, there comes a moment when we are faced with what seems to be unsolvable problems. And let me tell you something, we want to just try to figure it out. Well, come on, we can do this. But you know what? We got to let go. We are called in the moment that we start to squeezing and angsting, we are called to let it go. Because if we don't, we'll be into the middle of a figured out struggle. And you'll be struggling. See, rational thinking involves a lot of busy back and forth, plus and minuses and processes and all that stuff. But spirit don't operate like that. This inner intelligence don't operate like that. It's on an entirely different level. Get you, like I said, you heard the scientists now, and me too. Wake up in the morning and you get ideas to tell you what to do. Write them down. Don't just say, okay, I'll try that. No, don't just go, that sounds nice. Just do it. See, an affirmation that helps create a surrendered and receptive attitude is, I don't know, but the spirit within me knows. So whenever you get to the point where I'm stuck, I don't know, but the spirit within me knows how. And you do it. That's how I feel. So what about you? So, all right, with that being said, remember this also. Faith comes up when we trust in the truth and we take those times and do what we need to do and see the good that comes out. Faith then comes up, or faith emerges, whatever you want to call it. Because now we're no longer surrendering the need to really work. I mean, no, we're really surrendering the need to let go is what I'm trying to say. So it's time for me right now as I clear that place up where I am. And here's what you know. When you clear up the place where I am, you start to realize this other thing. I am that place where God lives. What do you call God? Spirit? The universe? Whatever you call it. But I am that place. And when I start to believe that I am the place where God lives, it moves, it breathes, it has its being in me, then I know I am surrendering the need to figure out whatever it is I got in front of me. Because this is what I know. Think about it for yourself. I am the place where God shows up. It moves, it breathes, it has its being in me. So why don't you think about that for a second for yourself as you listen to this next song? I am the place where God shows up. Where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Every time Eddie Watkins would come to sing out in California's and the different places I was in, I love his wife. We got along. Oh, we had such a good time. But let me tell you something. He did that song a lot. And a lot of his songs I love. But that one right there is the one that's got to give you that confidence. I'm the place. There is no other place where God can show up. It's better than me. There's no other place where God can show up better than you. Moves and breathes, and has its being. Okay, guys, I don't even have to say any much more than that. That's my man. That's my right-hand man. The big A, the A-team. That's Alan Lilly, everybody. The man. So that all being said, you know what this is the time for? 2 seconds I got to shout out about birthdays because that's the day we came to be. It's gonna always be important to me, and that's a rhyme. Hey, that's a rhyme. So just jot down, if you're on YouTube, your month and your day, and we will say it every single time. You don't have to be there. Here's another thing. You don't have to be present if I were to make a prayer for you. I don't even have to know what you look like. All I got to do is feel you. And this is what I believe. Now, somebody else would say, well, no, I need to know this and I don't need to know all that. All I know is that there's this spirit out there that's doing whatever it's doing. That's the same thing we would do for your birthday. That's the day you became to be. Just got to tell you that. It's important. Honor it. Let everyone else honor it with you. And stop telling people, it's no big deal. It's my birthday. Please don't say that. Please don't buy me nothing. Shh, shh, shh. Don't do that. It's not good. But anyway, it's time for me now to give the big gratitude shout out to the team. And thank you so much, Groovy, for being the MC today. You got me, girl. I love you. She's too much. She is also, I always call her I don't know if she wants to be ours, but she can be. She's our spiritual harmony steward. And that is somebody that's really got it, where she keeps things clean and keeps it quiet. So I call her the cleanup woman. So with that being said, Dr. Wanda, that prayer, I think she's the prayer queen. That's what I think. She just opens her mouth and we got that. So that's a wonderful thing. So thank you for your opening, because I know you still got some more in you to close us out. And also Horace the Bush for your reading. It lit me up for sure. And also everything you do does. Horace is the type of person, he knows I can call her at any given time, and he makes sure that he does call me anytime he needs to. Because why not? Some people say, well, I don't want to call because I don't. Well, How are you going to be able to have a good communication with a person if you don't call them, right? So many of you do that, but I'm just saying he just does it. He doesn't have to, but he does. And I love that. Horace, you are the bomb, man. So thank you for the readings too, every now and then. And also Timmy P, he is our AV man. He makes sure today that's what he's doing. But when he's got to do his thing, he does whatever duty he's got to do. He loves to bring this community to a good land and at the end of each. Some of the times he's looking kind of concerned. I look at him and say, if he's looking concerned, I better pay attention to something over here. Because that's the man. He's going to watch over us. He's going to pilot us. So that's a fabulous thing. But you already saw my other man right here. He keeps me cool. He's the one that keeps the candle lit. I have to give Alan that. He goes, it's okay. It's okay. He's holding the light for me. He sees me when it's certain things is not right. And he has to be able to do that for me because he does so well. Oh, I love it. And I have to allow him to do that, to tell me, breathe. That's my man. And then we got Melissa. Melissa is here right now in the quietness right now, but she's one of the great readers and all that good stuff. However, she happens to be the one today and most days doing our spotlighting and greeting us. And that's a very good thing, because if she wasn't to do that, well, what we do? But then she also makes sure if she can't make it, she's got somebody to do it. So you know what? She enjoys doing that. And she also enjoys reading. So as long as you do what you like here, it's going to be phenomenal. And it's always going to be done well because you love what you do. And I told that to my grandson, if you love what you do, you got this. And thank you, Mo, for always being on hand to make sure everybody gets their emails when they ask for a prayer request. And I always say, if you did not get a prayer in your inbox from CSL Charlotte, you didn't put in a prayer request, because Mo will be grateful enough to send you one and make sure you get it. So that's enough, guys. I think I got us all. And with that being said, see, it feels like there's more. So I think Spirit's telling me there's more people coming. Trust that. And I'm like, okay. And that's just what I heard myself say. Yeah, well, you didn't get everybody because there's more. But that's all right. I just wanted to say that. But before the last song, let's consider this. Today was all about surrendering the need to figure it out. Remember that during the week when things are coming up, you got to figure out, well, I'm like, how quick am I going to empty these boxes and pack away and do this and do that? It's going to happen, girl. Just swell, chill, surrender the need to figure it out. You're going to align perfectly with your transformation every single time. And so will you. So if you want something to do this week, start making sure you're working on surrendering the need to figure it out and trying to understand, what does it mean to me? You got some of the gist of it. So now what does it mean to you? And so now, if you're ready to begin surrendering the need to figure it out, before Wanda prays us out, you got to know who you are this week. The first thing you want to know is to remember first where am I? I am the place that God lives. Who am I? I am a conqueror. So all the challenges that come to me, I handle, because of this power within me. That's what makes me the conqueror. So get to this next song, and before we get prayed out by Dr. Wanda, and you will see what it feels like. Listen and fill your heart with it. The Conqueror. Hey, just remember that, guys. Try telling me no. Because one thing about me, he sings, I am a conqueror. So tell me no if you will, because I'm going to go around the bend and I'm going to come back with a yes. Hey. And when I go around the bend, that could mean me just sitting down and do a couple of breathing exercises. I don't know. It could be me sitting down doing some journaling. But I tell you what, I'm going to conquer this thing. When I'm going to surrender the need to figure it out while I'm at it. So with that being said, everybody, let's go, Dr. Wanda. Pray us out, please.
Thank you for that. That was like the cherry on top of the ice cream. That's the song that I play almost every day, one of my very favorites in the world. So anyway, as we settle in and take a moment to take a deep breath now. And just allow whatever comes to you to come. Allow the message that you received today to just simmer inside you. Feel that movement. Feel that vibrational level that is higher than when we started. Because every time I appear in one of these sessions, I am not the person who came in. I'm the new person who walks out, because I have been empowered in some way. I have been reminded. And so as I speak for myself, I know that it is the truth for each and every one of you. I know that we are all conquerors. We are never victims, we are victors. And so today, I also know that Reverend Rosedale always opens herself to spirit, empties herself before she comes in. So I know that the God that lives within her has spoken today in every language to every person who has been present or will see this YouTube in the future. And so I am grateful. I am once again grateful for the opportunity to be of service, for the opportunity to be able to get out of bed, to come and be on this service each and every time that I am able to be present. But I'm always present. My heart is always with you, because we are always co-creating with something greater than ourselves. And as we co-create, we are connected. There is never any separation. It is impossible to get away from spirit, for spirit is everything. Spirit is everywhere. Spirit is infinite, infinitesimal. The potentiality and the possibilities are endless. And so I know that spirit embraces us. I feel that warm hug of spirit this morning. So allow yourself to feel that. Allow yourself to feel embraced and feel that hug of light and love that comes each time Reverend Rosedale speaks, and each time each person who appears here today to provide this space is sending their love to co-create this space. And with that, I just simply say, this has been a blessing. You are all a blessing, and so it is.
Oh my God, Dr. Wanda, I am not the same person that stepped in here this morning. Thank you for that. I will take that with me for the week. That one line, even though you got the rest of them, but baby, everything else is in my spirit. So thank you so, so much. So, wow, I am beaming. Oh, yes, I am on the moon, as they say. So I think it's time for us to get ready to go. So this is what's going to happen right now. As we wrap up our time together, notice this week whether or not you're surrendering, need to figure it out, or whether you're angsting. So, and then you also got to remember that you need a great, fantastic, and phenomenal confidence affirmation or something, or practice to start surrendering the need to figure it out. So it's not like, oh, people say, well, it's so hard to do it. No, no, no. You can surrender the need to figure it out, but you have to understand that this takes some little things to do, some things. So keep affirming, I am a conqueror. And I don't accept defeat. You can even say that. Try telling me no. But anyway, remember, guys, the universe is constantly supporting you on your journey. And until we meet again, start getting it together, surrendering to the need to figure it out.